Hey guys, today we'll be covering a 2019 romance film called Autumn Fairy Tale. A kid named Jun walks into a pediatric ward to see his newborn sister, but while walking around, he accidentally drops a nameplate hung on the children's beds. A nurse unknowingly exchanges the nameplates, causing the infants' identities to be switched as well. Years later, Jun and his sister Xi are living a happy life with their wealthy parents. On Xi's birthday, she is showered with gifts and love. Jun loves her dearly and is always there for her. Then we are introduced to Xi, the girl that was exchanged with Xi at birth. In contrast to Xi, Xi's life hasn't been ideal. Her mother is a poor woman who owns a noodle shop and is drowning in debts. Xi has a bad temper and is always arguing with her mother. She hates her life and is envious of the people who have everything she wants. One morning while walking to school, Xi gets hit by a ball. Jun comes to her rescue and orders the guys playing football to be more careful. In an adjacent street, a local gangster is robbing Xi. Xi sees this and runs to Xi's rescue. She hands her wallet to the guy and makes him go away. However, Xi repays her kindness by insulting her. She thinks that Xi is only helping her to brag about being rich. Later that day, Jun and Xi are cycling back home. Jun has promised to give Xi his music player if she wins the race to the house. But while in a hurry, she fails to notice a speeding car coming her way. She is hurt in the ensuing accident. In the following scene, we see her mother by her hospital bed. Her father rushes to her and reveals that Xi's blood type is AB positive. Since both parents' blood type is O positive, they realize it is impossible for her to be their daughter. The next morning, Jun comes to the hospital to visit her. He has brought her the music player that she's wanted for a long time. Outside, her parents and her real mother are discussing how they should tell the news to their children. Even though Xi is not their biological daughter, Miss Xi loves her like one. She doesn't want to give up on the person she has taken care of since birth. But she also loves her biological daughter Xi, who doesn't deserve the life she is in. Jun overhears the conversation and is shocked to discover the truth. The following day, Xi is discharged from the hospital. She and her family are enjoying a meal together when they are interrupted by a knock on the door. An angry Xi has come to declare her position in the family. She asks her parents why they didn't come to fetch her after knowing that she is their biological daughter. Xi looks at the couple in shock. Their expressions clearly tell her that the girl is telling the truth. To add to her misery, Xi stops her from calling Mr. Xi her dad and reclaims her position as their daughter. Jun stands up for his sister and asks Xi to get out, but his father stops him. Unable to process the information, Xi runs away from home. A while later, Jun finds her sitting by her favorite tree in a park. She asks him to go away because they are not related. As the two talk, she claims that she wants to be a tree in her next life, so she never has to move or be separated from the people she grows up with. Jun convinces her to return home for the night. The next morning, Xi wakes up and finds Jun asleep. She also sees Miss Xi taking care of her new daughter. This makes her realize that if she stays with them, they might not give their full attention to Xi. So she packs her bags and goes to meet her biological mother. Miss Wang sees her and is moved to tears. She doesn't want Xi to stay with her because things are hard in the household. The little girl could never adjust to the new ways, having been used to living with her parents. As they talk, Miss Xi arrives and hugs Xi. She begs Miss Wang to let Xi stay with them at least until she graduates. They are moving to the US in a few days where she can get an education she always wanted. Miss Xi knows she is being selfish by wanting to be with both her daughters, but rationalizes it by saying it is for their future. Miss Wang allows her, but Xi refuses to go. In the end, Miss Xi returns home disappointed. The next day at school, Xi finds out that her family is flying to America. She rushes to meet them, but is unable to stop their car. The scene cuts to several years later. Jun has returned to China to look for Xi, but hasn't been successful. Xi has become a nurse with several part-time jobs to help her mother with money. One afternoon, she is with her friend Su Ran, driving to her work as a realtor. At a checkpoint, a rich womanizer named Han is flirting with an employee, having forgotten his wallet at home. Xi is running late, so she pays for both of them. Han is intrigued by her, but doesn't get to talk to her before she drives away. At work, Xi manages to impress yet another client and makes a sale. Su Ran compliments her persuasion skills, asking her to teach her some of her tricks. On returning home, Xi sees that her mother is being troubled by loan sharks. For the time being, she pays them a small sum and makes them leave. The relationship between Miss Wang and Xi is very good, unlike how it was between her and Xi. Then we see that Jun and Han are actually friends and business associates. They work together, but are complete opposites of one another. Jun is a workaholic, while Han is interested in nothing but parties. That evening, Su Ran forcefully brings Xi to a club. Coincidentally, Han and Jun are also there. But since Jun is at another table, he doesn't notice her. Later, Han plays a melody on the piano, and Jun Xi mistakes him for Jun. She realizes her mistake and runs outside while being followed by Han. He corners her to a wall and tries to kiss her, but she pushes him away. After that, she goes to the tree that she loved so much in her childhood. She listens to a song on the music player that Jun gifted her long ago. At the same time, Jun is also doing the same on his old music player. The next day, Han and his spoiled friend go to a seafood restaurant. Jun Xi works there as a crab peeler. Han's friends make fun of her and brag about their money. When a guy throws money at her, Han retaliates and saves her from them. He also apologizes for what he did yesterday. The following day, Jun Xi goes to a repairman to fix her player that is broken. Just when she leaves, Jun also arrives to do the same. On seeing her player, he instantly recognizes it as his gift and rushes to catch Jun Xi. A while later, they come face to face in a park. In the next scene, the two are at a cafe. Jun Xi doesn't have much to say to him, still mad that he left without saying goodbye. Jun tries talking to her, but she leaves abruptly. At night, she goes to another restaurant and drinks excessively. Jun is at another table, keeping an eye on her for her safety. He hears her speak to herself, expressing how she was left alone by the people who she thought were her family. Jun approaches her with teary eyes, but she dismisses him again. Suddenly, she passes out, and he brings her to his home. In her sleep, Jun Xi asks Jun to never leave her again. The following morning, she sees that she is at her childhood home that Jun still hasn't sold. Jun brings her to a special place where he has kept all the things that Jun Xi liked in her childhood. He has had her in mind over the years and has collected these things to give to her one day. Jun Xi gets emotional, knowing that he missed her as much as she missed him. For the next week, they meet every day and spend a lot of time together, slowly falling in love. But then we find out that Jun has a girlfriend named Min, who has come to China to surprise him. Jun Xi meets her and finds out about her relationship with Jun. Before she can react, she is met with another surprise when Xi joins them. The two take a walk together while talking about their lives. Xi reveals that her parents haven't forgotten Jun Xi a single day of their lives. They still talk about her almost every day and miss her dearly. Later, we see Xi ask Jun not to tell their parents about Jun Xi. She wants to keep it a secret because her mother's health is not in good condition. Jun Xi is working at the hospital when Han interrupts her and begs her to come with them for urgent work. Jun Xi reluctantly agrees and ends up at a supermarket buying a large amount of groceries. To her surprise, Han brings the goods to an old age home and distributes them among the old people. They also slow dance together at their request. Xi witnesses this and is filled with jealousy. It turns out that she is in love with Han and hates Jun Xi for taking away everything she likes. On returning home, Han finds Jun painting in the living room. He reveals that he likes Jun Xi and is about to confess his feelings the next day. A shocked Jun refuses to support him since he is a womanizer. Han suspects that Jun likes Jun Xi and asks his girlfriend to be careful. He also promises that he is willing to change for love. The following day, he takes Jun Xi out on a date to the amusement park. A bunch of mascots perform around her on Han's order. As Jun Xi is having fun, Han expresses his feelings and asks her to be his girlfriend. Jun Xi avoids the topic, telling him that he deserves someone better. Still, Han asks her to think about it. When Jun Xi comes back home, Xi knocks on her door asking her to stay away from her family and Han. Just then, Miss Wang arrives and is shocked to see her daughter after so long. The two reunite in tears. Outside, Jun Xi also meets her former parents. Miss Xi feels instantly better after seeing her, having been sick for the past couple of years. Although Xi is overjoyed to meet her parents again, she remembers Xi's words and decides to distance herself from them. That evening, she goes to a club and drinks a lot with strangers. When Jun comes to stop her, she tells him that she only hangs out with people who have money. Even Han tries to stop her, but is unsuccessful. Suddenly, she falls unconscious and has to be rushed to the hospital. There, the family finds out that she has a rare disease that is growing worse day by day. Recovery is still possible if she is ready to take all the medication. However, Jun Xi doesn't want to live anymore. She tells Jun that her wish to become a tree has finally come true, now that she cannot move because of her illness. Jun Xi has everyone she loves around her, taking care of her. Han and Jun are sure that she will recover soon and start preparing for her return. Han decorates the old house as per her taste. Jun even brings her favorite tree to the backyard. In the meantime, Jun's girlfriend returns to America after breaking up with him. She knows that he is in love with Jun Xi and will never be happy with her. A few weeks later, Jun Xi returns home and sees everything that Han and Jun have done for her. One day, Han and Jun bring her to the special place filled with all the stuff she likes. Both of them propose to her for marriage and are ready to back down if she chooses the other person. In the next scene, we see Jun Xi walking down the aisle with Han. He brings her to Jun, who is the actual groom. Jun and Jun Xi get married and lead a happy life. In the final scene, he imagines them cycling home together as they did long ago.